Everything we do is motivated by our beliefs. 150 years ago, Abraham Lincoln, by executive order, freed the slaves. Why? He believed it was the right thing to do. 2 weeks ago, a young man entered the Manchester Arena in England and blew himself up. Why? He believed it was a good thing to do that day. Every one of you, every one of you got up this morning, and before you left the house, you put on clothes. Why? You thought it was a good idea. So everything we do is motivated by our beliefs. But can we change them? What would it take to change them? How do we change them? I'm going to talk to you today about the 3 steps for consciously creating and choosing new beliefs. The first step is that we need to understand what a belief is. The technical definition of belief is that it's an assumed truth. So it's anything and everything really between our ears and our mind that we assume is true without absolute proof. It's thoughts, it's ideas, it's guesses, hypotheses, it's even feelings. So anything that's happening up here is a belief, really. Now, what is the source of our beliefs?
Good job.
Very good. I'm done. The source of our beliefs, well, they come from external sources, a lot of them. As children, we're like little sponges. We pick up ideas from our parents, our family, our friends. As we get older, we've got teachers, coworkers that provide us with different ideas. The media, television, books, magazines, lots of ideas. We get all these different ideas and we bring them in. And a lot of times we don't even question too much about them. We just accept them as true. And so we pick up all these different beliefs and we hold them with different levels of certainty. So most of us really believed, as Steve suggested, that it would be scandalous if we left the house without having clothes on. On the other hand, when we went to pick out what we were going to wear, we might not have been as certain of whether we look good in blue or peach or green. We would hold that belief maybe with a different level of certainty. And how did we decide how to hold it, how much we believe it? It's going to depend usually on what we think about the person who maybe gave us that belief. So if mom said we looked good in red, and our best friend said we looked good in blue, and our best friend is a fashion consultant, we might think I look good in blue, regardless of what we really think ourselves, because that is a higher authority. So now that we kind of understand what a belief is, let's move on to step 2, which is really choosing our criteria for selecting a belief. So as I've suggested, we used to kind of decide, is it the right belief maybe? Is it correct? Did we get it from an authority? So we've taken on these external beliefs and then we've used this criteria of trying to decide what is truest really. And I'm going to suggest that you throw that old criteria out and that you adopt a new criteria that's more meaningful to you. So 20 years ago, I was looking at my life and my beliefs, because our beliefs create our life and motivate everything we do. And I asked myself, what's the criteria do I want to use for this? What do I want to actually create in my life? And I decided peace is what I want in my life. I want my life to be more peaceful. I don't want it to be necessarily correct. I don't really even want to be right. I mean, I do, but when I really think about it, I'd rather be peaceful before I'd be right. So it's habitual that I'm trying to be right, but I like peace. So you can pick any criteria you want. Maybe you want more happiness. Maybe you would like a little bit more money. Anybody want more friends or maybe more love? Pick your own criteria, and then you can move to step 3. We just completed step 2 then. So step 3 is going to be picking a belief and testing it out, seeing if it actually works. And so 20 years ago, I heard this idea that if you do what you love, the money will follow. I didn't believe it. That's crazy, right? Just do what you love and the money's going to follow. I'd been told by my parents, by society, and everybody around that I had to work hard for money, that I had to do things I didn't like for money, that money was so important that I had to go to a job regardless. I just needed to have whatever was available. That was the set of beliefs I had. But I had this new criteria, and I had this new idea, this new possibility, that I could do what I love and the money would follow. And I said to myself, well, which one's going to bring me more peace? Oh, do what I hate all the time or do what I love? I said, okay, I don't really believe it's going to work, but I'm going to test this one. Do what I love, because I was 30 back then, right? What if it worked? Like I didn't have to wait to retirement to start doing what I love. So I tested it out. And what I found was that day after day, and then month after month, and finally year after year, I could do what I loved, and the money was always there. So I'm going to suggest to everyone here to try out the 3 steps for consciously changing your beliefs. Now that you understand step 1, what a belief is, you understand that they're really things that they're not really truth. It's just something you believe that's true or you think is true. You can now change them at any time, and you want to pick a criteria, or step 2, pick the criteria that is meaningful to you. Something that's going to change your life for the better. And then test it out. Step 3, test it out to see if it actually works. Does it bring you more of what you want in your life, or does it? And if it doesn't, you can throw it out and pick a new belief.